The misinterpretation of emotional suppression. The Stoic ideal of emotional control versus emotional suppression. How modern interpretations often confuse the two. The psychological dangers of suppressing emotions, anxiety, depression, and emotional numbness. Case studies or anecdotes of individuals who took Stoicism to an unhealthy extreme. The illusion of invulnerability. The Stoic goal of achieving inner peace and resilience. The misconception that Stoicism encourages complete detachment from external events. The risks of becoming emotionally disconnected from others. How this can lead to isolation and a lack of empathy. The toxic side of self-reliance. The Stoic emphasis on self-sufficiency and personal responsibility. When self-reliance becomes toxic, refusing help, burnout, and the stigma around vulnerability. The importance of community and interdependence in human well-being. Examples of individuals who suffered due to excessive self-reliance. The paradox of control. The Stoic dichotomy of control, focusing on what you can control and accepting what you cannot. Misapplying this principle, passivity, resignation, and avoidance of responsibility. How overemphasis on control can lead to inaction and apathy. Balancing acceptance with proactive engagement in life. Stoicism and masculinity. The historical association of Stoicism with traditional masculine ideals. How modern Stoicism can reinforce toxic masculinity, emotional repression, Stoic endurance, and the tough guy mentality. The impact on mental health, relationships, and societal expectations. Reimagining Stoicism in a way that promotes emotional openness and inclusivity. Stoicism in the workplace. The rise of Stoicism in corporate culture and leadership training. The dangers of using Stoicism to justify overwork, exploitation, and lack of work-life balance. How employers may misuse Stoic principles to suppress employee complaints and demands. The need for ethical application of Stoic values in professional settings. The cult of Stoicism. The risk of turning Stoicism into a rigid ideology or identity. How Stoic communities can become echo chambers, discouraging critical thinking and diversity of thought. The danger of dogmatism and the loss of Stoicism's original flexibility and practicality. Encouraging a balanced and open-minded approach to Stoic philosophy. Reclaiming Stoicism. How to practice Stoicism in a healthy and balanced way. The importance of integrating Stoic principles with other philosophies and psychological insights. Emphasizing emotional intelligence, empathy, and human connection. Practical tips for avoiding the pitfalls of extreme Stoicism. Conclusion. Recap of the key points discussed. The value of Stoicism when practiced with balance and self-awareness. A call to approach Stoicism as a tool for growth, not a rigid doctrine. Final thoughts and encouragement for viewers to reflect on their own relationship with Stoic principles. Introduction and Section 1 ***. Introduction ***. A montage of ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, juxtaposed with modern images of people meditating, journaling, and reading self-help books. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has found new life in the modern world. Born in the bustling markets of Athens and the marble halls of Rome, Stoicism taught its followers how to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and wisdom. Today, it's embraced by CEOs, athletes, and everyday people seeking clarity in an increasingly chaotic world. But what happens when Stoicism is taken too far? When its principles are twisted into something rigid, cold, and ultimately harmful? In this video, we'll explore the dark side of Stoicism, when the pursuit of virtue becomes a path to emotional suppression, isolation, and even toxicity. Welcome to the dark side of Stoicism, when Stoicism is taken too far. Before we dive into the potential dangers, let's start with the basics. Stoicism, at its core, is about focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. It teaches us to cultivate inner peace, practice gratitude, and respond to adversity with reason rather than emotion. These are powerful tools, and when used correctly, they can transform lives. But like any philosophy, Stoicism is not immune to misinterpretation. And that's where the trouble begins. The misinterpretation of emotional suppression ***. A person sitting alone in a dimly lit room, staring blankly at a wall, while a voiceover plays. One of the most common misconceptions about Stoicism is that it encourages emotional suppression. The idea that to be stoic is to be emotionless, to never feel anger, sadness, or fear. But this couldn't be further from the truth. The Stoics didn't advocate for the absence of emotion, they advocated for the mastery of emotion. They believed in feeling deeply but responding wisely. However, in our fast-paced, results-driven world, this nuance is often lost. Take John, for example. John was a successful entrepreneur who discovered Stoicism during a particularly stressful period in his life. At first, it helped him stay calm under pressure and make better decisions. But over time, John began to see his emotions as weaknesses, obstacles to be overcome. He stopped expressing frustration at work, even when his team was falling apart. He stopped sharing his fears with his partner, even when their relationship was struggling. John thought he was becoming more stoic, but in reality, he was becoming more isolated. Therapist John, when was the last time you allowed yourself to feel something, really feel it without judging yourself? John looks down, silent. John's story is not unique. Many people who embrace Stoicism fall into the trap of emotional suppression. They confuse emotional control with emotional avoidance. And the consequences can be severe: anxiety, depression, and a profound sense of disconnection from themselves and others. So how do we avoid this pitfall? How do we practice Stoicism in a way that honors our emotions rather than denies them? That's what we'll explore in the next section. This is just a small portion of the script, but it gives you an idea of how the video could be structured and written. Let me know if you'd like me to expand on any specific section.